And some breaking news coming in. Russia has accused Ukraine of attempting to kill Russian President Vladimir Putin in a drone attack on the Kremlin. That's according to the state-run RIA news agency. It says 2 drones were shot down, adding the Kremlin will respond when and how it sees fit. Well, let's take you over to our Russia analyst, Roman Goncharenko, who's in Bonn. Roman, could you first of all tell us about or whether or not you can verify any of these reports, this alleged attack on the Russian president?
Well, it's breaking news, and we can only report what we hear from the official sources in Russia, and they are saying that there were 2 drones last night trying to attack the Kremlin, where the Russian President Vladimir Putin is, that he is unharmed and continues working. So we only know that there were 2 drones, that they were somehow stopped, neutralized. What we can deduce from the first reports from Russia, they were not shot down, but somehow forced to land by electronic warfare. That's what it looks like. And it's the first time that we hear something like this happening. There is no confirmation from other sources, so it could be anything. It could be a Ukrainian attempt. It could be someone from Russia, so Russian citizens, some kind of opposition, underground, whatever. And it could be a staged operation by Russian Secret Service. So at this moment, it is too early to say anything specific. But it's still, the news is very, very important, I think, because, as I've said, it is the first time that we see something like this happening. Presumably happening, and it is important for several reasons. We saw in the past days, we heard in the past days that both Russia and Ukraine were extensively using drones to attack critical infrastructure. There were no confirmations from Ukrainian side that it was behind attacks. For example, this morning near Crimea on Russian mainland in the Rostov region or Krasnodar region. Hitting a tank there and a fuel tank. There were also hits in the past days, so we see more and more such drone attacks. And Russian authorities have been preparing, actually, for possible Ukrainian attack on Moscow or on Kremlin in the past months. We saw reports about drones being found just nearby Moscow, some 50 kilometers from Moscow away in the woods. There were reports about a drone with explosives, which was just landed somewhere in the middle of the forest. There were reports about the Russian Defense Ministry putting very sophisticated, very heavy air defense systems on rooftop of the Defense Ministry and other buildings in central Moscow, which is a sign that Russia was afraid of possible drone strikes. And it is very remarkable because Moscow is probably the best protected city in Russia, and especially the Kremlin area is very good protected. So it is absolutely unclear how 2 Ukrainian drones could make it to the Kremlin, and they fell on the Kremlin territory. This is what the reports say. We cannot verify that, but it is very, very unusual.